Now presenting Chairman and CEO Adam Michaels for Mama's Creations.
Thank you. So thanks so much for having me today. I'd really like to hopefully leave you, I don't know, some folks might know a little bit about the company, other folks not as much. I'd really love to leave you with three things today. The first one is we're in a pretty amazing industry. The deli, I call it about $40 billion. It's actually $60 billion, but that includes the sort of sliced meats and delis, deli sliced cheeses. It's a $40 billion category, growing 5% in units over the past 52 weeks. Number one, amazing category. Two, we have a pretty differentiated story. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Dan Mancini, how we started with Mama Mancini's, a couple acquisitions that we've done. And now we have an amazing, and we just finished it up at the end of last year, an amazing team now. That's number two, a differentiated story. And then third and most important is we have a different strategy. We are trying to become, or we are already becoming, a first of its kind, one-stop shop in the deli. And we'll speak about that. So three things: amazing category, differentiated proposition, and a differentiated strategy. So obviously the most creative slide in the deck today is our forward-looking statements. You guys could read more about that on our website. So Mama's overall, just on a page first, I just want to make sure the deli. So anywhere you shop, Costco, BJ's, Sam's, Stop and Shop, Publix, anywhere you shop, convenience stores, anything behind the glass, anything in the hot bar, the cold bar, grab and go set, prepared food set, that's what we're talking about as a deli business. We're about $125 million of revenue, profitable business. The entire leadership team is all incented on our growing our business. All of my compensation is stock price appreciation. So we're all in it together. More than 10% of the business is held by insiders. We're all running the business together. So let's go through each of these three things. First, again, the deli. I really believe it is your decision to say, is this Adam guy okay? It is absolutely. What's important is your assessment of this Adam guy might be okay, but is his strategy right? What is an absolute undeniable fact is that the deli is where the growth is. The other thing, to my understanding, I've been asking now for 2.5 years, we are the only publicly traded deli company in America. 100% of every other player in the country is private. Massive growth. It's exactly where consumers are going. Back 100 years ago, I've been in the food space for a little bit. I used to run our M&A in North America at Mondelez at Nabisco. The job I had before that was actually possibly my favorite job of all time. Is I used to run all of our consumer intelligence, right? My only job every day was to go to the CEO and told him what our 330 million friends in America were saying and feeling and looking for. Fresh, clean, easy to prepare. That's what consumers wanted when I was doing that. It's even more what they want today. I don't know if you guys heard there's some market instability going on in the world these days, right? Inflation, I've heard there's a little bit of inflation here and there. What's happening is away from home, inflation is much higher, almost 2x of what in-home inflation is. That doesn't help. Recessionary challenges, the first thing people do is they pull back from eating out, right? That's a luxury. Things are getting too expensive. So the idea of the deli is where the growth is, right? And that's where we've been focused on. Two, I told you this is a differentiated story. There really is a Dan Mancini. I get to hang out with him all the time. I actually have breakfast with him next Friday. So Dan started this business, right? We started as Mama Mancini's. It's been around 10, 15 years now. And we started with meatballs. Actually, when I first got here, we were a Northeast meatball company. Today, actually meatballs aren't even our biggest item. And today, I think it's up to 47% now of our sales are west of the Ohio River. So, but it all started here. And the ability, if you look at the back of any of our Mama Mancini products, there's pictures of Dan behind each one of them. It really resonates with buyers. It really resonates, right? The retailers, it really resonates with the consumer. It's a real product. There really is Dan. 100%, it's like a high number. 100% of all you send in an email to our, actually the number one complaint we get in the company is actually, I can't find your products. Swear to God, that's our number one complaint. If we have to have complaints, that's a pretty good one. But anytime you test me, send in a note, you're not happy with something, Dan responds to every single consumer comment. It really resonates with the consumer. So I told you the deli is where you want to be. I'm talking to you about where this all started, how it resonates, right? You can't fake that. I don't care how good of a businessman I am, I can't make up this story, right? He did this with his grandmother. What's new, and if for some of you guys that have been following the story for some time, some of these slides you're going to hear were when I first said them 2.5 years ago. What's new that happened at the end of last year, finally, it took me 2.5 years to do it, but I built a best-in-class leadership team. Actually, I will go in so far to say this is the most overqualified deli perimeter management team there is in the marketplace, right? These are all CPG guys, right? Center aisle, right? And again, Chris Darling, we brought him in at the end of last year. He ran sales at Boar's Head. But these, Skip started his career at P&G for 20 years, ran logistics at Walmart, Campbell's. This is a massively overqualified team because we really do believe in what we can achieve with Mamas. Lauren Sella runs our marketing, was at Tate's Bake Shop beforehand. If you guys like cookies, no one likes cookies? Man, you guys are quiet today, gosh. So deli is where you want to be. We got a pretty differentiated proposition. And the real unlock is we have a differentiated strategy. I told you before, the deli is all private, right? And there is a guy that makes the best potato salad in Kentucky. He's raised his family, had enough money to put his kids through college, grandkids taken care of, they go away on vacation. But that's what he does. And when Walmart comes to him and says, hey, I will buy all the coleslaw you can make, what do you think he says? No, I make potato salad. I don't, that's what I do. I don't need to do anymore. Everything's taken care of. We do everything. So all the difficulties, all the challenges that the buyer had when I first got here, the first thing I had my sales team do is listen. Where are the challenges? I got to deal with a dozen different trucks coming in every day to fill the deli counter. I have to deal with a dozen different EDI systems, trade plans. I got to worry about deductions on 12 different companies. I could solve that for you. I could do everything. I can make all the meatballs, all the sausage and peppers, all the chicken, all the salads, all the paninis, all the wraps, all the olives. The idea is to be that one-stop shop so we make the job easier for the retailer. In turn, they're going to want us over others, and now it makes it easier for the end consumer. That's it. Amazing category, all the data to prove it. A differentiated approach with Dan and our leadership team, and a clearly first of its kind differentiated strategy to upend the idea of the deli of regional, of singular products to be that one-stop shop to meet the needs of the retailer. So let's go into a little bit of the detail about the business. So we do everything ourselves. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We have 2 facilities. We make everything ourselves. End to end. We have amazing chefs, Chef Chris, amazing. We develop the items ourselves. We produce the items ourselves, get them shipped out. We market the items ourselves, end to end. If I want to impress you, I could tell you we have I don't know, 100, 200 items across the spectrum. If I really wanted to impress you, I tell you we had over 500 when I started. I am net negative since I've been here. You will find out I am incredibly, I used to say I'm frugal. No, I'm just cheap. I am all about efficiencies. If you have one raw material to deal with one product, and now I have to keep that from an inventory perspective, that is just inefficient. So we've concentrated. We make, it's my kids' favorite product. So the number one product, we make all these products. My boys like chocolate chip cream cheese we make. That's their best product. But we make 10 types of cream cheeses, and we sell them throughout New York City, other places. But do we really need boysenberry when we have blueberry and raspberry? Because now I have to keep that in inventory. That gets, I have to throw that out because it goes bad. So we've actually cut our SKUs. We innovate. Lauren leads our efforts on our new product development stuff. So our Super Bowl is actually called IDDBA. You guys want to have a fun time? I mean, not as good as Planet MicroCap, but the second coolest place you guys could be, you come down this year, I think it's in Nashville, in June, and you'll see, it's called the International Dairy, Deli, and Bakery Association. Again, you guys are not impressed? I was able to do that on the first try. God darn. Okay, and that's where we come out with all of our items. That's any major retailer. That's where we showcase our new items. I'm gonna make you guys come down or at least wait a month before we announce our new items that we'll be sharing at the event. But the whole idea of our new items, I just told you I cut half of our items, is about incrementality. Can I get us into a new cohort of people that we don't have today? A new occasion that I can't get in today? A new channel. So I'll speak to you a little bit about, we're in the convenience channel now. We were never in there before because we never had items, right? You can't sell 3 pounds of meatballs to Sheets, right? So that's why we came up with the paninis. That's why we came up with the meatballs in a cup, because we have an item that now sells in the convenience channel. It's pretty cool demographics-wise. I will challenge you guys to find me one person that cannot eat one of our products. This is not, again, I've been in the space for a while, kombucha and refrigerated nutrition bars. Wait a minute, if you take it out of the refrigerator, will I die if I eat it? How many hours do I have? It's really hard on some of these new items to help people understand. Guys, we make meatballs. We make grilled chicken. We make Israeli couscous, Persian rice. We make paninis. My go-to lunch is a Nashville hot panini is my favorite. Everybody can eat these products. You don't eat beef, you don't eat proteins, we got salads. You don't want salads, we have sandwiches. You don't want sandwiches, we have olives. We can meet the needs of, we have something for everyone. Every demographic, it's awesome. Every channel. So we're in all 50 states. Most importantly for Luke over here, we're in Puerto Rico. That's most important. Every channel you see, every customer, we're in every Costco in America right now. We're in every BJ's in America. We're in every Sam's Club in America. We're in Albertsons on the West Coast, Ahold on the East Coast, Publix down south. You name it, we're there. Big focus I mentioned earlier, getting into the convenience channel. Massively incremental, right? Selling into BJ's, with all due respect, and selling into Costco, it's probably the same occasion, right? You're making dinner that night, right? So selling to one or the other, I'm somewhat cannibalizing. This is an item that you're gonna eat on the go, right? You're gonna have one of our meatballs in a cup, which is a bit of a misnomer because the best cup item we have is sausage and peppers in a cup. So I gotta come up with a better name for it. Or, right, on the go, it's in the car, it's an incremental occasion. It's a younger audience. C-Store's a younger audience. Now I'm getting into different demographics. The thing you should hear over and over again from me is incrementality. That's what I care about. Some of the great work that Chris Darling's doing, you see some of his big sales initiatives. I will not be able to articulate it as well as he does. All you have to remember is the big focus is on AIC, average items carried. Why? I just told you why, because I'm cheap. The truck's already going there. To put another pallet of product into the same store next to the same products we already have, it's more efficient. It creates a billboard effect. It's really easy to mistake or not see one item. But if you see 6 of our items, you can't miss it. Average items carried, driving velocity, right? Product's already there. How does Chris do a better job with our trade? How does Lauren do a better job with our marketing to get people to buy it faster and faster and faster? Our reorders are happening faster and faster and faster, right? And then ultimately get into new stores, right? I know that's what everyone loves talking about. We got into Walmart last year. We have some other big, Luke had a good word for it. What is the other big whales we're going for? So we're in all 50 states. I said $120 million of sales. But when I first got here, 3 biggest retailers in America, Walmart, Target, Kroger. We had a whopping total of 0 sales in Walmart, Target, and Kroger. So I told the team we're going to get into 1 a year. You're going to find I'm incredibly patient. No one could make me go fast. I am all about focus, executing with excellence. I said 1 a year. Last year we got into Walmart. It's a new year, so we'll see what Chris gets us. Big focus. Again, amazing work that Lauren's putting together. 3 A's, awareness, action, and advocacy. Before people get into the store, do they know about Mama's Creations, Mama Mancini's, right? So we do a lot of work online to get people, at Facebook and doing partnerships. Action. So when you're in the stores, does it hit you in the face? I'm a big fan of shelf talkers or wobblers or stuff on the floor to big signs, big pictures. Dan, again, it's pretty cool. We get a lot of free publicity with Dan because, he's sort of like a local legend. So, you go to Whole Foods and, there's a picture of Dan, because he's, local of sorts. So that's about the action, and then advocacy, talking about it. I hope everyone submitted for National Meatball Day last month. No, you guys are killing me. Luke, come on. So how do we get people to really define that brand love? So there's a lot of work that we're doing from the marketing perspective. Skip leads all of our operations. I mentioned to you, we have we make everything ourselves. We have 2 facilities, one in Farmingdale, Long Island, one in East Rutherford, New Jersey. If you guys have been hearing this story, we actually doubled the footprint of our Farmingdale facility last year, added $5 million of capital to our facility, 100% paid for from cash flow from operations. 100% paid for. If we don't have it, so Anthony Gruber's our CFO, if we don't have the money in our bank account, we don't spend the money. So we doubled our footprint in Farmingdale, doubled our chicken capacity. We had 2 grills, actually added 4 grills. These are just like the grills you have at home in your backyard. Not that size matters, but mine is 25 to 30 feet long. East Rutherford, we actually just on February 1st, doubled our facility in East Rutherford. So we had half the building, we just took over the full building. And based on what Skip tells me, I'm married, so I'm a good learner. It's whatever they tell me to do, I do. We will see what we do with that facility. We're already using it, but we're thinking about, do we use that as a mixing center? Think of it as like a central hub for all of our production and ship everything out of that. Again, drives efficiency. Do we add more freezer space? Do we add more manufacturing? So that's the work that we're doing there now. And you see some of the pictures that we've developed there. I've overdid the punchline of sorts, margin, margin, and margin. I do a lot of work with nonprofits. Just got suckered into being a city councilman in my town. I am all for doing nonprofit work at night, not during the day. When I started, we had literally 11.9% gross margin. Last year, before we had some hiccups, which I shared with you guys, we were at 30%. So the goal is not, hey, there's this aspiration that I've never hit before, but I promise we'll get there. I've done it already. We've already been at 30%. So it's all about that focus. Balancing organic and inorganic growth. So we're going to be $1 billion business. Half of that is organic. Last year we grew 20%. The other half is going to be inorganic. $500 million of organic, we're going to acquire $500 million of business. This is a massively fragmented industry. All of it private businesses, all of it mom and pops. And unfortunately, those mom and pops are getting older. My boy is, maybe not as aggressive as I am, and I'm sure I was not as strong and lazier than my father. And I know my grandfather said my father wasn't as, hard a worker as him. No one wants to be in the, wants to run a plant. Now they just want to be a TikTok star. So there are a lot of businesses that don't have a home. $1 billion business, some of our financials. Again, big focus on profitability. When I started, we didn't have even $1 million of cash, now over $7 million. I felt like we had even more debt before, even less. We're actually under-levered right now. We now have built a strong foundation for our business, and that's why you're starting to see the growth accelerate. So that's it. I told you 3 things. 1, this is exactly the category you want to be in. I'm not going to tell you want to be with me. I'm not going to tell you like my strategy. I am telling you, you want to be in this category. 2, we have a differentiated proposition. And 3, we have a differentiated strategy. With that, I'm happy to take questions. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I see that you're not afraid of competitors. What are you afraid of? What's the main thing?
The dark. I'm not afraid of anything. I mean, first of all, this is a huge category. A big question people ask me all the time is like, when you get new products in, and you see we get tons of new products in, who are you displacing? 50% of the time, if not 75% of the time, we're not displacing anybody. What's cool about this category, number 1, is that unlike my entire career where no one grew shelf space, center aisle, cookies, crackers, salty snacks, carbonated beverages are only shrinking. This category is actually growing in shelf space. They need us to fill the space, let alone beat someone else. I mean, obviously I know all my competitors. I sit on industry boards. They have no impact on my strategy. I know where we're going. So, yeah. Yes, sir.
What's your comfort level with leverage? Because it sounds like you can do a lot of M&A.
I don't know. I think, and there are people smarter than me that help guide me, would 2 times, be fine-ish. I feel like 3 sounds, I just don't like odd numbers. So, I'm pretty cheap. And Anthony Gruber, our CFO, is an incredibly good steward and won't let us get above ahead of our skis. The key is I'm extraordinarily patient. I don't need to be rushed on anything. So I don't want to see too much leverage. It's not needed. Ooh. First of all, if I was over there, I'd hit your hand a little bit. 100%. I can't believe I didn't say this before. 100%. Please write it down. I see every pen moving right this minute. 100% of our items are fresh. 100% of what our end consumers see is fresh. Will a customer maybe ask us to ship it frozen so it's easier for them? Possibly. We're okay with that. 100%. You guys are still not writing this down. 100% of our stuff is fresh. Yes, sir.
Products sourced from the U.S. and chicken and beef, etc.
It would be really impressive if I could tell you that 100%, well, nothing's ever 100%. Everything we do is domestically sourced. All of our beef is U.S., all of our chicken's U.S., everything's U.S., and 100% of our sales are U.S. So what was it called? Liberation Day did not have much of an impact on us. Yes, sir.
All the products, the consumers see your brands, or sometimes it shows that they just pour on a different packaging and take it away. What's the balance of that?
So our legacy Mama Mancini's business is about 50-50. 50% of it is branded and 50% of it's private label or like in the hot bar. Chris doesn't like that. And He wants it to be about 75-25, 75% branded, 25% private label. And he's been here 3 months, and already I'm seeing a dramatic shift towards branded. I think I'm getting yelled at already, but happy to be outside and take some more questions. Thank you, guys.